He says this year's team is more athletic, is faster, and really excited about what his 2026 Demon Deacons can do. Emma Alvord with the LSU throw. Alvord, one of 3 new starters on the Tiger back line, 2 in purple. LSU in the round of 16 for the first time in the history of their program last year. The loss to Vanderbilt, 1-0 in that round, ended a 13-game unbeaten streak. Tigers in the box. Allie Fryer goes down. That's a name you'll hear a lot for LSU this year. Fryer, 23 in purple, BYU transfer. Highly, highly touted transfer experience player who only adds to this offensive punch. Kelsey Major, 18 in purple. Only returning starter on the Tiger back line. This is Bailey. Dynamic sophomore from north of the border in Edmonton. Dempsey Brown, 6 in white. Defensive leader for Wake Forest. One of the twin sixes in this system for Tony DeLuce. The wrestler widens for Maxwell, the reigning ACC Freshman of the Year. Wrestler Maxwell inside the box. Played well by LSU's keeper, Audi Skiven. Senior from Iceland handles the opportunity, snuffs out the Wake Forest early threat. Skiving, one of 5 Tigers on the SEC's preseason watch list. Bounces harmlessly to Amaral. High pressure from the Tigers. Dispossessed near the midline. Skiving. Team in purple, Annalie Bruiser. A touch.
Well, and Matt, taking a look at this last Wake Forest opportunity, it was a buildup that started deeper. Eva Forster was on the ball. Then you see Wrestler making a run forward. It's Maxwell who then goes inside. Wrestler still stays. And you see the interchange that happens between Wrestler and Maxwell. That's your center forward and your wing player. But they're able to interchange. Creates a 1-2 and then an opportunity for Wake. So final ball, would love for that to be swung back across the 6. It's a hard angle for a shot, but really good movements and interchange from Wake Forest early on.
Wrestler, 14 in white, was the goal scorer when these teams met a year ago. Wake Forest, a 1-0 victory on this field. So it's the second straight year in the regular season that LSU pays a visit to Wake Forest. Wrestler, a junior from Florida, that goal last year against LSU was the first of 4 in the campaign for Tony DeLuse's team. National runners-up in 2024. 23 NCAA tournament appearances for a mainstay on the Wake Forest sideline. Administrative discussion just outside the top of the 18-yard box. Adriana Contreras is our referee tonight. They started well in ACC play last year, 3-0-1, but down the stretch, just 1-3-2 in their last 6 ACC games. Did not qualify for the 6-team ACC tournament. What do the Deeks do with this set piece? Toward the top of the 6, and Skiving there.
Matt, the way that that ball comes in off the foot of Cross, it's tailing towards the goalkeeper. So as a runner, it's really hard to get on the end of that. Would love to see it bending back away because that then forces skimming off her line as the runners are coming in.
And that's something for Wake Forest, Morgan, that you're going to get worked out with time. A couple exhibitions for the Deeks, but now it's the regular season opener, and a look at this foul here.
And that's just Wrestler going in hard against Amy Smith. Those are two players that we know are not going to shy away from a tackle. Wrestler just runs through it a bit.
Galligan, 11 goals last year, played out well. Maxwell. Throw for Wake Forest. 11 in white is Taylor Maxwell, the twin sister of Kylie Maxwell. Taylor played last year at Miami, but the twin sisters reunited this year in Winston-Salem. Taylor hit the transfer portal, left Coral Gables. Tony DeLuz said, you know, sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. Says Kylie wears a little bit more bling, but as he spent more time with the sisters, he started to pick up on the little differences to be able to tell apart 11 and 31 when they're not wearing their uniforms.
I was going to say we're lucky we get the numbers.
You know, Winston-Salem, one of its nicknames is the Twin City, so it fits with the Maxwells here. There's Taylor, Langhorne, Pennsylvania, the hometown for the Maxwell sisters. Morgan, both of them playing on the right side of the formation for Wake Forest, so some connections possible on the field as well with that natural sister chemistry. Majority of the possession so far in this one has belonged to the Demon Deacons. Talia Zadian wide for Eva Forster, freshman making her college debut. And a throw for LSU.
And Matt, we spent a lot of time talking with Sean Hudson, and there were some questions about this back line for LSU, some personnel questions, still some players fighting for a starting spot. And first thing, I'm not surprised to see Wake Forest have more of the possession, but I've been really impressed with how organized LSU is. Early on, they were a bit higher up the field. Didn't look like a full press, but they were so compact that it was a bit difficult to break down. Wake Forest was special in the ball to be able to do that. But now when you see them really sitting into their defensive shape, they're moving as a unit. You see all players back behind the ball, but they're not just sitting deep. They're shifting as a group. So I am impressed with that, especially knowing there were a couple question marks coming into this game.
More than a couple question marks, to be honest with you. LSU with the one returning starter on their back line off of last year's highly successful team, and that starter being team captain Kelsey Major. Sean Hudson said there's no question that this team is explosive offensively. Goals galore is the phrase that the native of Wales used to describe her attacking group. But 3 new starters along the back line. Players who've been in the program, and Annalie Bruiser, redshirt sophomore who made 20 appearances off the bench last year. Additionally, Amy Smith, the junior, 8 starts last year for her. Add in Emma Alvord, a transfer from SMU by way of Oklahoma State. 3rd school for her, and these are players who haven't had a lot of experience together, just a couple of exhibitions, but as you mentioned, gelling early on. Galligan. Nice ball for Linsdotter. Amaral off her line to send it away. It was a nice run by Berglund Linsdotter, freshman from Iceland, 10 in purple, making an impact early for LSU.
Linsdotter has shifted forward. We expected to see her more in that attacking mid-roll, but at times she's in pretty even with Galligan. But then on the flip side for Wake Forest, that's one of those big saves that you know at the time you need Amaral to come off her line. She's going to do what is needed, but that's a statement she just made, and Wake Forest needs to be a little bit more careful defensively.
Check out the space for Wake. Into the wide area, now the box. Still on it. Out off the Tigers, Demon Deacon corner, first of the game. What a quick counter by Wake Forest to earn the corner.
Well, that's exactly what it was. This ball is played so quickly, but it's the first touch from Maxwell that goes forward that forces a defender to hesitate just a second. It's the ball played in across, and I love this cutback. She puts it on her right foot. Really nice, tight defending, though, from the Tigers to limit that shot.
Sierra Scythe is a threat on set pieces. 9 assists last year. Good ball. Zadian over the bar. Right idea from Wake Forest. Zadian just couldn't quite get her head on it at the correct angle to punch it in.
Well, Zadian is completely unmarked at the top of the 6. And what's surprising is it's actually Galligan that is the closest to her. Probably the best player on the field when it comes to an aerial battle. But Zadian wide open there on that header.
Skiving bangs it away. LSU unbeaten in 13 straight prior to losing to Vanderbilt in the round of 16 last year. Also fell to Vanderbilt in the SEC championship game, officially a draw. Dropped that one in PKs 8-7. It was an epic in Pensacola. LSU in those PKs, they were kicking in what we'll call the bottom of the 4th, if you will, needing just one goal to win the SEC championship. Vanderbilt had to make 2 stops and score themselves. And Sarah Wadelko did that for the Commodores. Vanderbilt able to walk away with the SEC championship trophy. Heartbreak for LSU. It has created what Sean Hudson says is a burning desire in her group into 2026. Tigers threatening out wide. Cross comes in and Amaral dives on top of it. Valentina Amaral, impressive early on in this game. LSU last year, round of 16 for the first time in the history of their program. What can they do to build on it here in 2026? Taylor Maxwell finds sister Kylie. Wake trying to work out some pressure here. Bit of a missed touch by Amaral. Free outside the box. Number 7 Michigan State takes on number 8 North Carolina in an early season women's soccer matchup. That's next Sunday, August 23rd. 1 p.m. Eastern here on ACC Network. Carolina number 8 in the country. That is the 5th highest ACC team in the United Soccer Coaches Top 25. It is a loaded conference this year. Wake Forest with the number 18 next to their name. LSU 16th in the preseason poll, one of 5 SEC teams ranked. Major is dispossessed. Ava Amsden, 22 in purple in pursuit. And a foul in the middle of the park. Adriana Contreras spots that one. It'll be a free kick for Wake.
Well, and this free kick is going to help Wake Forest because they are having trouble beating the first couple players from LSU. It's a really quick press. They are swarming the ball. There's good touches from Wake Forest to get the ball under control, but they just have no time to be able to play around. Kudos to the LSU frontrunners. They are putting in the work defensively, and that is easily something that could be a game changer for them, knowing defensively they're still a bit early in the season, maybe have some question marks that they're still working out. So to give LSU a chance, if they can pick up a ball deep in their attacking third, that's putting them in a really great position with some very dangerous attackers.
What's the adjustment there for Wake Forest?
there needs to be a little bit more movement coming out of the middle of the park, because when the ball gets wide, there's not a lot of time. And I've been really impressed with what I've seen from Berglund Linsdottir, the freshman, really in her first official game. She's covering a lot of ground in that attacking mid, and she's able to take out both center midfielders for Wake Forest, so they don't have a ton of options centrally.
Linsdottir, Icelandic U19 player, one of 3 natives of Iceland on this year's LSU roster. In essence, replacing Ida Hermannsdottir. Hermannsdottir wore number 10 for the Tigers a year ago. Here come the Deeks. Top of the box, a strike sails high.
Well, as this ball is sent back across, it's good work. It's Forster. Riley Cross has found herself open a fair amount of times, whether it's for that shot, getting on the ball. She's become a playmaker for Wake Forest, which is interesting because we heard a lot more about Dempsey Brown, Eva Forster coming into this game, and then obviously the front runners for Wake. But Riley Cross has really been unpacking a lot in the middle of the park.
Cross, a member of Wake Forest's transfer class coming in from Penn State. Maxwell looking for Wrestler, cut out well by Major. Deep throw in the attacking third for Wake Forest.
Well, and Matt, it's interesting because Riley Cross is also a player that Tony DeLuise recruited hard coming out of high school. He said she broke his heart a little bit. So they're happy to have her in Winston-Salem, and she's definitely making an impact early in this game.
Sometimes you just have to wait for what you want. And that was the case for Tony DeLuise. Aggressively recruited Cross out of Chatham, New Jersey. Picked Penn State, spent a year there, but now wearing the old gold and black, just as Tony DeLuise hoped. Really, really high on her, says she could be an all-ACC type player.
Well, and he mentioned she has a really good instinct for just popping up in different places, and I actually think that's a great way to say it from what we've seen in the first close to 20 minutes, is she just finds herself open and on the other ends of things. Obviously, we saw her on a set piece early, so that looks to be another area that Wake Forest thinks that she can impact.
More possession for the Demon Deacons. Long one for Maxwell. Flag stays down. Maxwell with tons of space. Opportunity fades out for Wake Forest. LSU will have a free kick just behind the midline. If you're the Tigers and Sean Hudson, you would like to see this turn into some sustained possession and build up here. Shot number 4-0 Wake Forest early on. Amaral has gotten involved in goal for the Deeks a couple of times. No quality looks yet for an LSU team that led the SEC in total goals last year at 52. Skiving. Was out for an LSU throw. Some of the folks here in Winston-Salem on a nice, albeit muggy night for soccer. Thought that first ball was contacted by LSU. And a foul just outside the box. This is going to be a dangerous free kick for LSU. Adriana Contreras saw it, calls the foul on Taylor Maxwell.
Well, Matt, that's a foul as a defender. You just cannot get up. You already have the inside angle. Credit Soraya Bailey, though. She knows that if she goes down, she's just beyond the edge. She feels the hip. She goes down. That gives them an opportunity in an incredibly dangerous position. But right there, Taylor Maxwell, you just have to be more aware of where you are at and hold your ground. And it might just be riding the inside of the player so you can limit a shot. But that is an area that you cannot dive in to try to go for the block when you know the forward's going to try to get it on their foot to take an aggressive touch.
2 players over the ball for the Tigers. Bailey and Amsden. A very dangerous set piece for LSU. Can the Tigers break the ice? Just over 20 minutes into the season opener. Be Bailey. Will it be Amsden? Tension building at Spry Stadium. It's Bailey. Straight to Amaral. Threat handled by Valentina Amaral, as has been the case for the last several years for Wake Forest. In some ways, Morgan, I'm a little surprised LSU is not a little more deceptive there, but they win the ball back. Galligan, her shot is blocked. Bodies hit the deck once more, still with LSU. Now here come the Demon Deacons on the counter. It's Cross with a bunch of space. Forward for Maxwell. Major goes down. This game has opened up all of a sudden. Played out of danger by Bruiser.
Well, and Bailey goes near post on this. Amaral absolutely has it covered, but it's a quick turnover that gave LSU another chance right after that. But like you said, Matt, the game opened up a bit. We had a quick transition for Wake Forest on the other side.
Felt like the first 20 minutes or so, the occasional chance, but a lot of possession for Wake Forest. All of a sudden there, LSU had those two looks, one off a set piece, one off a deep turnover. All of a sudden, Wake Forest takes possession back.
Well, and it was a poor turnover, but you have to credit Talia Zadian, the center back for Wake Forest, because she came up big time with 2 blocks, closing some space. Galligan was trying to be special. I like the idea of a hesitation, but Zadian did a fantastic job of keeping her run going to block the space.
Comes Wake again. All sorts of space for Cross, heavy touch. Cross chased down to the 18-yard box. And bounces away past Maxwell and out.
And this was the turnover. It's the ball in the middle. That's just a great job done from Breland Knowles to step forward. Galligan, I love the hesitation. I love the idea, but defensively, Wake Forest did a fantastic job continuing to track. Defenders don't always do that, so that's a heads-up play there. But then when you saw at the end of the replay, there still was another chance for LSU.
Wake is a great shot blocking team, and that helps Amaral a lot. Like Tony DeLuce said to us when talking about Zadian, said, quote, she's not a freak athlete, but she's a great shot blocker. And what do you know? That comes true in the first half of the first game of the season. Here is Zadian, the Californian. Maxwell, nice one, looking for a twin sister. Major says no to that, though.
Kelsey Major has had to respond tonight because she's more so one-on-one with Maxwell when she's out wide, but Major's done a fantastic job of getting into tackles, being physical when she needs to. You can also see her at times trying to get a touch in physically to throw Maxwell off of a run a little bit. Those are important traits for a player on a back line, especially when you have a leader like Kelsey Major. She's done a really nice job tonight.
One of 2 team captains with Ava Galligan. The Forrester, the freshman. Nothing doing there. LSU has been in North Carolina since prior to last weekend. They played an exhibition against UNC Wilmington on the road last Saturday. Stayed in the state, had some beach time, had some lake time. A team bonding essentially week for LSU. We brought this team together. Sean Hudson said each class was responsible for performing skits. The junior class won the skit competition. Yes, coach, was there a coaching staff skit? She goes, no, we had to watch film. Another chance for Maxwell here. Maxwell weaving, looking. Maxwell pulled from behind by Major. No whistle, play on. And here comes LSU the other way. Well, that looked like a jersey tug inside the box. Ms. Contreras did not deem it worthy of a foul.
And there's no doubt there was a jersey tug. That's the physicality, though, that you're seeing from Kelsey Major. It is an area that I would say she needs to be a little bit careful of as she's in the box. If that continues, if she also goes in for a tackle.
Back to Amaral. Nice header into space. Another breakaway chance for Wake. Is this the moment? Saved it first. Second chance wide. Oh, a brilliant look off the rebounds. Lola Wrestler nearly at her second in as many years against LSU.
Well, the header that set this whole play up is right before the replay started. Was fantastic, right into the run. You see the cut inside. Wrestler is exactly where she needs to be. She's on top of the ball and just misses the mark wide. But this work out wide by Flanagan is fantastic. The timing of her run, but it was fully set up by that header that was played in by Scythe. Beautiful placement.
That is one Wrestler's going to want back. Best chance so far for Wake Forest in a game where they've controlled shots 6-3. Zadian. Forster involved again.
Fantastic ball.
Offside flag comes up. ACC Huddle road trip continues through August 24th. Catch exclusive interviews with players and coaches of your favorite ACC team. Sierra Scythe, fourth-year junior defender for Wake Forest. Sean Hudson's LSU Tigers visiting Winston-Salem for a second straight year. Scoreless game as we get to the later stages of the first half here at Spry Stadium. Well, we've had a lot of chances in this game, especially for the home team wearing white. Just looking for that moment of quality to punch one past Skiving.
And there's been quality all over the field, though. I mean, just that last ball to beat the first line of pressure for LSU. It's a ball from a center back beating the lines. No, it did not get out of Wake Forest defensive half, but those are the little moments of quality that do add up and build up, especially as you make your way on in the season. But they've been really special in the midfield. The play that came back because it was offside, it was really special work in the middle from the freshman Eva Forster, who finds Cross, who is so special on her left foot, spinning and playing that ball into the run, which was then called back. But those are the little moments, but no, it hasn't culminated higher up the field, and I think that's what's missing from both sides. But there's been the chances early on in the season. There's some dust to kind of knock off a little bit.
From an LSU standpoint, we've barely said the name Allie Fryer, the BYU transfer. LSU preparing to make a substitution, the first of the game. Galligan. Linsdotter. Linsdotter has Bailey to her left. Cut out well. Nice defensive play from Taylor Maxwell. Maxwell had committed that foul to set up the dangerous free kick by LSU earlier in the half.
LSU, number 4, Riley.
It's a solid defensive play. LSU substitution. Off goes Alvert. In comes Riley Albin. Albin is just 17 years old, a reclassified player, should be a senior in high school. Instead, the native of Flower Mound, Texas, and product of FC Dallas, is playing in college for the Bayou Bengals.
Matt, Riley Albin is a player I'm really excited to see on the field tonight. Sean Hudson was raving about her. She just won an ECNL national championship a couple months ago. So has so much success, has had so much success at the youth level. And there's no doubt it's a different level in college. She's playing against women that are 5, 6, 7 years older than her. But she is a player that has all of the experience and the potential. I'm excited to see how it translates to the field.
LSU corner, Amsden sends it in. Unmarked, ball down to Amaral, knocks it away, still loose, and off this side netting. That was touched by Wake Forest. It'll be another LSU corner on the other side of the field.
And it's Amaral coming up big once again. This is a good run, but it makes its way all the way to the far post to Major, who puts a nice strike on the ball. But Wake Forest has trouble clearing it. LSU is so dangerous on that second chance.
Nice ball, far post. Fryer got her head on it. This is still in play. Major cuts end line through a lot of traffic. Amsden strikes it on the ground. And that was touched by Galligan out. Goal kick for Wake Forest. There was a lot of space on the right side of the 18-yard box for Ava Amsden.
Well, and that sharp cutback from Major is what set all of it up. But you're right, the ball squeaks all the way through, and Amsden has way too much time.
Pass was too heavy for Flanagan. Tigers on the counter. Linsdotter blocked. This is Fryer. 3 years at BYU, injured last year for the Cougars. Serves it for Bailey. Flag down, far post, Galligan over the bar. Oh, a great look for the Tigers' leading goal scorer last year. And Sean Hudson can't believe that Galligan wasn't able to put that one on frame.
Number 2, Amaya Dawkins. Number 8, Chloe Burst.
And once again, though, it's the ball that squeaks all the way through. Wake Forest stops, thinking that it's offsides. Bailey keeps her run going, and Galligan is wide open. That is not an opportunity she will miss the rest of the season. She will put those away. It's one she's going to want back. She's in the right place, just the placement of the header. But Wake Forest defense just stopped, and Bailey was by herself and behind.
And as a defender in that moment, you cannot assume an offside.
Never. Ever. You have to keep the run going in hopes that your work, it doesn't matter because it's called back, but to stop is, an attacker is not going to. An attacker is always going to think that ball is going through, so defenders have to answer.
A couple of subs came in for Wake Forest. Maya Dawkins, Wiley Texas Jr. is in. Chloe Burst Jr. from Louisiana, from New Orleans. Louisiana native playing against her home state team, the LSU Tigers. In fact, Burst has a cousin, Sean Michael Burst, who played football at LSU, 2012 to 2016. There's a little bit of a family rivalry here in this matchup tonight. Does this game have a goal prior to halftime? Wake Forest 11-5-4 last year, 4-3-3 in the ACC. Tony DeLuise, year 30. As the head man in Winston-Salem says his team has a chip on their shoulder this year. Loves the athleticism and the speed of this year's team. We've seen it on display early. Each team has had a couple of quality chances. No one able to put it away, though. Dawkins, the substitute. Nice interplay with Cross. Taylor Maxwell twin connection with Kylie. Major and Maxwell entangled again. This time the whistle blows from Adriana Contreras. What a 1v1 matchup this has been. Kelsey Major, veteran captain for LSU, against the dynamic Kylie Maxwell.
But I love the defensive work from Major. She's just trying to get inside. They're both jostling for position. She definitely has the arm hooked of Maxwell. That one's going to be called. But Maxwell has an extra step. So Major is just trying to limit any bit of separation. But this is also an area where Wake Forest is back on the ball.
Wake Forest free kick. They can serve the box with ease here. Bends in. Easily played by Skiving. Skiving, returning starter in goal for LSU. Today is her birthday. She's 24 years old today. So LSU has Riley Albin back there playing defense. She's 17. And Skiving in goal is 24. 7-year difference there.
Entering the game for LSU, number 5, Alexia Hansen. For Wake Forest, number 7, Sophia Ateokura.
Off goes Galligan. She will rest for the final 8 minutes or so of this first half. Alexia Hansen comes in. And if you're new to college soccer, players are permitted to sub off in the first half and return in the second half. Then in the second half in the women's game, players may leave once and return. Offside flag goes up. So substitution rules in the college game, a little bit different from what you may have seen over the summer of the World Cup. By the way, speaking of the World Cup, you may notice how beautiful this playing surface is at Spry Stadium. Wake Forest in Winston-Salem was the host of training for the German national team in the run-up to and the weeks in which they were playing in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. You can see why the Germans chose this facility. Across the Triad in Greensboro, that was the home of Norway. It's awesome to see how some of those communities embraced the national teams coming in. Algeria was in Lawrence, Kansas, and the Kansas Jayhawk mascot was wearing Algerian colors. Rock Chalk Algeria was the chant. Nice move by Maxwell. Maxwell, top of the box for Cross. Cross looking for a lane, takes the shot, parried away. Skiving up to the test. Demon Deacons with a corner forthcoming.
Well, this move that set the whole thing up, Kylie Maxwell gets by Major. It's a great ball across, exactly where it needs to go to Riley Cross, but a big save from Skiving. Well done, Kylie Maxwell, to set that whole play up.
First ball was taken out by LSU. Scythe, nice one.
Good, yes. Organize now.
Switch of play for Maxwell. Takes a couple of hops to her. Locates her twin sister, Taylor. Kylie Maxwell on the ground, banged over the bar. Chance after chance for Wake Forest. That was Sophia Ateortua, transfer from UCLA, who came in off the bench just a couple of moments ago.
When we knew Sophia Ateortua would add some flair to this game, but coming in, she's been creating on the ball. It's a quick ball back across from Maxwell. All she can get onto it. Tua does a fantastic job dropping back as she sees the ball coming across and getting a touch on it. Does not miss by much over the bar. She has been an energy injector since coming onto this field. And it's a player we were excited to watch after talking with Tony DeLuz and just what she could bring to the game.
Play has been brought to a stop here with 1 second below 5 minutes to go in the first half. They are taking a look at something in the previous sequence. Potentially a handball by LSU in the box. See on the left side of your screen there, Adriana Contreras, our center referee tonight. Kevin Maurer is the alternate official. And that duo taking a look at the replay. So Morgan, this starts with the corner.
So we're looking at 22 Amsden as the ball comes back across. Another angle will help this. She looks like she goes with her chest. From this angle, it looks like it hits her just outside the bottom of her numbers, which from my view would not be an arm at that angle.
And you need indisputable evidence that the call on the field, which in the moment was play on, is incorrect.
And you see the ball coming towards Amsden, and it definitely changes directions, but she's opening her hip, and as the ball comes up, it looks like it hits her in the center of the numbers of her chest as she's turning, which would explain the redirection of the ball as she's opening up with her body. But I don't see it hitting an arm or a hand, but another view and another angle. In that view, it looks like the ball is attached to her chest.
Yeah, we blow it up here. That's right at the numbers in the chest. After the check of the video, the officials are ready to render a decision. Would be surprised if this is overturned, given what we just saw there. Call stands, goal kick. And I think that is the right call.
Call on the field stands.
There's no doubt it took a funky hop off of Amsden, but after we slowed it down there, it was pretty clear it took that hop off of her chest, not an arm.
Yeah, and you see the ball changing directions because she's opening up her body, so it's hitting her chest as she's turning. And oftentimes, yeah, if a ball hits an arm, it can take a deflection that way, but when you look back at it and you see her opening up and it hits her right in the middle of her chest where her numbers are, that explains why it's changing direction.
Tua was involved in the play again there for Wake Forest. LSU wins it back. Their substitute, Alexia Hansen, 5 in purple. Back for Major. Fryer pressuring Zadian. Dempsey Brown, veteran player at the 6 for Wake. Out wide. Morgan, the scoreline is even, but it feels like Wake Forest has been the better team through much of the first 45, though LSU has had their chances. Here's Major and Maxwell 1v1 again. LSU with the throw.
Matt, I would agree with you that Wake Forest has been the better team, but LSU has very, very much kept this close and easily could be in the lead right now. So I also don't necessarily think having all of the better chances or being the better team. Wake Forest has given up some pretty poor balls in their defensive third, and they've struggled with this LSU press and what we've seen. I think LSU has also built their way into the game. We haven't seen as much of a change with some of the substitutes that they've brought in, where I think Wake Forest has maintained their momentum and maintained their level, but I've been impressed with LSU, what we've seen from them, knowing this is a team that had an incredibly successful season last year and has so many new pieces to the puzzle coming into this season.
LSU this year adding 13 new players to a 27-player roster. 10 of those players are freshmen. Sarah Scythe. From the Tigers. On one over the top. Hanson. Hanson on the end of it. On the ground into the box.
It's a great ball from Dempsey Brown just to beat that first line of press, because now you have Cross on the dribble with acres of space in front of her.
And in 2 passes, Wake is right back in the attacking third.
With less defenders to beat because the press was beyond them.
LSU gets it out of trouble. But Wake made up all of that space with 2 passes, and it all started with the play of the veteran Dempsey Brown. Her and Scythe, so important to what Wake Forest does.
Yeah, talking with Tony DeLuce, he said he felt like they were a bit not talked about enough and didn't get as much recognition for what they deserve. And I don't think their name is shared enough on this level, but in my opinion, watching them over the course of their career, they have been 2 incredibly important pieces to how Wake Forest likes to play. They've been in different roles. Dempsey Brown has been an absolute mainstay in that midfield for the last 2 years. And Sarah Scythe, when you look at what she can create coming off of last year, 9 assists from an outside back. I mean, come on. And now 2 captains who care so much about this program.
Maxwell has a couple of defenders on her. Taylor Maxwell. Options for the aforementioned Brown. Nice ball to Kylie Maxwell. Maxwell. That's played by Skibbing.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
There's going to be a runner there for Wake Forest. That would be such a dangerous opportunity. But another brilliant ball from Brown to find Maxwell.
We've seen a better build-up from Wake Forest. The full product has looked more sophisticated, which we expected that. Wake Forest has a sophisticated style of possession and how they like to play. But you have to credit LSU the way that they have fought and battled in this game and created enough chances for themselves, because they knew if they could create, they would have opportunities to look on frame. And Valentina Amaral has been special for Wake Forest a couple times, which is what's keeping this 0-0.
It's been the story for years for Wake Forest now. Final seconds of the half. Maxwell, maybe one more look. And the first 45 will come to a close with a scoreless tie.
Your halftime score, Wake Forest.
Shots level at 8, shots on goal favoring Wake Forest 3-2. One of just 3 times last season in which LSU was shut out. The Tigers have a goal in them in the second 45. Wake Forest is in the white, LSU is in the traveling purple. The second half of this season opener is underway. Okay, Morgan, teams went into the halftime locker room trying to make some adjustments. LSU winning possession back here. Soraya Bailey's ball is clipped wide of the frame. That was touched by Wake Forest, so it's out for a Tiger corner.
Corner, LSU.
Third corner of the game for LSU.
I'm here.
Ava Amsden over the ball.
Hey.
On the ground wide. Back to Amsden. Serves it in. Headed out of trouble by Dempsey Brown. Now Wake on the counter the other way.
That's a big-time tackle from a forward. Soraya Bailey getting low. And you see a bit of a different shape from LSU. A different personnel. Bailey dropped in. I think most of it was off the corner. But we don't see Galligan starting the second half. Definitely shifting some players around. Ali Fryer is now the player that's up high. And keeping Hansen in, who finished the first half.
Fryer, 23 in purple, right side of your screen. Sean Hudson mixing up personnel, starting off the second half, looking to strike first. Sierra Scythe wears the captain's armband for Wake Forest. And Flanagan central for Brown. This is Hansen, who starts the second half after coming in off the bench in the first. Connects with Fryer. Fryer parallel to the top of the box, dispossessed there. Fryer has it back. Amaral picks up the bouncing ball. LSU has come out of the locker room aggressive in the opening minutes of the second half. Flanagan making a run. Flanagan was called for the foul there on Amy Smith. Allie Flanagan, sophomore from Round Hill, Virginia, all ACC freshman team selection a year ago. Got tied up with Smith.
What's the difference, Dempsey?
Junior defender from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Well, that was really well done from Smith, because if the field was about 10 yards longer, Smith wouldn't have won that battle. Allie Flanagan would have been able to beat her, but Smith did a fantastic job of just getting inside, staying there, staying low, and getting her body in. She's a former forward that was converted to a center back, and that's really well done, because you have to be willing to get in for that battle, and she won it.
Flanagan again. Wrestler playing wide. That was out off of Wake Forest. It's a goal kick for LSU. Lola Wrestler scored the only goal in this matchup a year ago. Provided a 1-0 win for the Demon Deacons. Wake Forest is really excited about Henley Tippins, graduate transfer forward from Georgetown. She's not available to play tonight. Therefore, Wrestler slides up to play more of a traditional 9. Forster, the freshman. Next Sunday, August 23rd, number 7 Michigan State taking on number 8 North Carolina in an early season matchup. 1 p.m. Eastern next Sunday on ACC Network. Top 10 game from Chapel Hill. This is Dempsey Brown carrying it forward. Bounces away wide at the goal mouth.
Dempsey Brown trying to catch Skiving off her line. You can see her saying, "That's my bad, that's my bad." Trying to go for the chip. The timing wasn't there. The placement wasn't there, but that's also the play of a veteran player. So not against the idea, but she knows it wasn't the right execution.
Mentioned veteran Brown making her 48th start of her Wake Forest career tonight. So many new faces last year. The Wake Forest team that followed up an ultra-talented 2024 national runner-up team. Brown is that link to the team that fell just short of the ultimate goal. Smith for Amsden. They were club teammates in Colorado. Ton of space for Albin, the 17-year-old freshman. Can Fryer get there? Makes a touch. Out off Fryer, throw for Wake Forest. So Morgan, you mentioned LSU changes of personnel to start the second half. What have you seen from Wake Forest in the first 7 or so minutes after halftime? Hold that thought as Hansen takes it back. LSU thought maybe a handball there at the top of the box. Play on for now. Amsden on the ground. Here's Fryer. Fryer, can she get the corner turn? No. Defended well.
I want to see Wake Forest hold on to the ball and let the ball move a little bit more. That's when they're at their best.
Previous play is under review.
So he mentions in that play there, LSU thought that there might have been a handball in the box. Sean Hudson calling for the first of her 2 allotted coaches' challenges. And our officials will have a look at this one. We saw a review in the first half for a potential handball in the box that would have favored Wake Forest. Nothing was found. So here is this new rule for 2026. 2 allowed per game initiated by the head coach. The referee may initiate in the final 10 minutes of regulation or overtime only if a team is out of challenges.
That's okay.
So a coaching moment for Sean Hudson. Meanwhile, Adriana Contreras looks at the video and here is what she will see. She is seeing exactly what you are seeing on your screen.
That's a great challenge to call if you're Sean Hudson, because the way that when this ball comes off the foot, you can see the way in which it's moving. You can see an arm out. And it completely changes direction. That one does not look like it hits the thigh of Zadian. This is the angle looks a bit clearer from here, but you can see the left arm out. The question is just, where does the ball hit? In that angle, it looks like the arm almost comes in front of the thigh.
It's almost as if the ball strikes the thigh first and then the arm, or maybe the thigh and arm simultaneously.
Yeah, it's so hard to see from that angle because we're behind Zadian. You can see the thigh go up and the arm come forward.
Adriana Contreras will render her judgment, and it is that the call on the field stands.
We have to drop ball to the goalkeeper.
Or you're saying call stands, drop ball to the goalkeeper. Sean Hudson frustrated, but I think it's just a lack of video evidence there. You can't tell, does that ball strike the hip, thigh, or arm first simultaneously?
And we're on the back side of a player. If there's a camera on the other side, you can see that so clearly. But yeah, you're right. And if it needs to be undisputed evidence to overturn it, you don't have that because a player's back is to you and it's happening on the other side. It's so difficult to see.
So we play on in this scoreless game. And Knowles fades a defender. Nice pass out wide. Hansen. Out for a corner. LSU's second of the second half already.
When it's good hustle defensively from Wake Forest. Looks like it's Kylie Maxwell, but she can't keep the ball in play. And I'm curious how both teams respond after essentially almost a new start to the second half. About 8 minutes in, allowing them both to regroup during that video review.
Amsden to take the corner. Headed by Knowles, Amaral is there. Nice ball to find Breland Knowles. Valentina Amaral stands tall in net. No foul call despite a protest from the Demon Deacons. Quickly the other way. Hansen working centrally, past Fryer. Emerald distributes out for Scythe.
Now, as this game has opened up a bit and become end-to-end at times, that plays more into favor for LSU. That's the game that they want to play. Yes, they have some young legs, but they're more willing to allow the game to open up. Wake Forest wants to possess. They want to move the ball. But as this game has opened up, it's created chances like off the corner. And it's the lack of defensive effort going forward when the ball is in the air. Breland Knowles does a great job of tracking that, but defensively, we have not seen a lot of aerial battles. It's been won by the attacker, no matter which team is going forward. And I think that's something I expect to see both teams improve on as the season goes on. But looking back at that last corner, Breland Knowles is where she needs to be, but there is no defensive presence even going up for the ball.
This will be another corner for LSU. We talked about how much of a threat Ava Galligan is in the air. She's not on the field right now for the Tigers. Hamston connected with Knowles on the last corner.
Well, and as you say that, you can see Galligan warming up a little bit. She was running up and down the sideline.
Clock stops. Now Amston ready. Here it is. Wake gets it out of trouble.
And that's a better response defensively. No, the ball wasn't cleared up and out how Wake Forest would want it, but you see multiple players going up to challenge for the ball.
And right on cue, here comes Ava Galligan. 11 goals last year to lead LSU. Her head coach, Sean Hudson, wonders aloud, can she score 20 this year? She will sub out for Fryer. A reminder that Fryer can return later in this half. Yet another LSU corner. Already their fourth of the half. This one will come from the near side of the field.
Matt, you're seeing tired legs for both sides already kick in, which is no surprise. It's early in the season, and nothing compares to being match fit. You cannot replicate that in any other way except for playing minutes in a game. But it's interesting to look at the body language right now. LSU's quicker to get to the ball. Wake Forest taking them a little bit more time to get into position.
Low ball. Second ball won by LSU. Soraya Bailey. Brown with options for Wake. This is Cross the facilitator in the midfield. Wrestler. Maxwell. Maxwell tracks it back. And an LSU foul. Possession to the Tigers. LSU has outshot Wake Forest 2-1 in this second half. Eva Forster, freshman making her college debut. Raleigh native with an English father. Club coach, NC Courage. Tony DeLuce says you can tell she's a coach's kid. Scythe out on the wing. Demon Deacon captain. But she turned the corner on Albert. Scythe into the box. Scythe crossed far post, headed out of danger. Still free. Wake calling for a handball. No signal yet. Could this go to video review? The clock will stop, and I believe that's the case.
And you could see Tony DeLuce quickly signaling that one, they were going to need to take another look.
So Wake Forest initiates one of the two challenges. Let's see.
And it's right here
The previous play is under review.
on Knowles as that ball's played in. It happened so quickly. It looks like it breezes by her hand. I'd have to take another look at it a little bit slower. But first glance, it definitely looks like it breezes her hand there.
There's Dempsey Brown, who struck the ball for Wake Forest. No question, the ball changed direction in the vicinity of Breland Knowles. How so is the question, and is there indisputable evidence that the call on the field is incorrect? A reminder that what Adriana Contreras sees on her video screen is what you see on the left side of your screen right now.
And these angles are so difficult. You can see just over the shoulder of skimming in that last one. There's about a hair where you can see past. This is probably the best view as Knowles is closing the gap and going in for it with Dempsey Brown. As the ball comes up, Knowles' hand is down. It definitely looks like it hits her hand, changes direction. I would expect that one to be called for a penalty kick. And it's the first clearance that gets missed, and on its way back up is when the ball is bouncing around. You can even see after the fact she kind of flips her hand because it hits it. It's just an immediate reaction there. Completely unintentional, but it definitely looks like it changes the direction of the ball, essentially stops the shot or the ball from Brown.
It was that first opportunity where she had to clear the ball that was missed that led to the ball falling to the feet of Brown right here. And it sure looks like it's that left hand of Knowles that bats that ball away.
And even the reaction from the referees is different as they're talking this one through.
Adriana Contreras, center referee. Kevin Maurer, alternate official.
And that's a new look there. They're going back to take another look at it.
They want to make sure that they get this call exactly right. The moment of truth.
Review, decision on the field will stand. Restart is a goal kick.
Wow. Tony DeLuse's expression shows you what he thinks of that.
The shock that you see on Tony DeLuse is what you could see on my face right now. The ball looks like it changes direction, and I also think that's what's so difficult about all of these reviews is because it is subjective, and what is the referee seeing? What are we seeing? I almost wish we could see a few more just as the play happened and the actual speed of play, because I think even when you dissect it and it's that small, you can look at anything so different. We're looking at pixels, what is actually happening in the moment, because whether it hit the hand or not, completely unintentional, your arms are just by your side. But it definitely did look like the ball changed direction.
And what does indisputable evidence mean in that situation? So both teams with unsuccessful challenges in the first 15 or so minutes of this second half. The game stays scoreless. Fourth all-time meeting between LSU and Wake Forest. Demon Deacons have won the previous three. His daughter challenging.
Matt, what is completely different about this Wake Forest team in the second half is they are struggling to build out past that press. We saw them struggle with it early in the first half, and then they found their way. If they're not beating the first line with a short pass or a deliberate ball that is splitting the players, it's going right back to LSU.
Amsden keeps possession for the Tigers. Wake will have a chance to build out of the back here. The keeper, Amaral. See Lynn's daughter chasing around. Here's that pressure. Amsden nearly won it back. And a foul. Those struggles for Wake Forest here in the second half, is that because of an LSU adjustment?
I mean, we heard Sean Hudson say that second line had to be more connected, and I think we're seeing that in the second half, but I also think it's because LSU's outlet players are so close together, so it's easier to be that second line.
Here comes Wake. Demon Deacons quickly got it down the right flank. LSU opening up their season here tonight on the road, but playing without a member of their team. Riley Kuiper is back home in Baton Rouge, wrapping up chemotherapy treatments for her battle with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. She was diagnosed in March. She has chronicled her journey and her fight with cancer on her TikTok, Kuiper Ventilating. Kuiper shaved her hair with the assistance of her teammates. You see her wearing the purple wig at LSU's scrimmage last week against Alabama. But Riley Kuiper, such an inspiration for not only this LSU team, but for all those battling cancer. And we wish her all the best as she continues her fight, nearing the ends of her chemotherapy treatments. And Sean Hudson is so excited to have Riley Kuiper back in the program. The prognosis is good for Kuiper. And the fact that Kuiper has been so open and honest about her journey and sharing it with the world, so inspirational.
We are rooting for you, Riley Kuiper. It's incredible to hear just some of the plans coming up for how they're planning to phase her back into training. This LSU team cannot wait to have her back, and just hearing Sean Hudson talk about how impactful Kuiper has been in her journey, and we are rooting for her, and it's so clear how important she is to this LSU team.
When that diagnosis comes out, the last thing on a coach's mind probably is phasing a player back into training, but that's where LSU is with Kuiper.
It's incredible.
Kuiper not on this trip, but her Tigers looking for a top 20 result here on the road tonight at Wake Forest. Ryan Dennecourt, 7 in purple, off the bench. It's been LSU that's been 1 or 2 passes away this whole second half. But now the Deeks with some numbers. Through ball looking for Wrestler, who goes down. Annalie Bruiser. Alford, Oklahoma State transfer, began her college career at SMU, so she has some experience in the ACC from the 2024 season. Lynn's daughter. Wrestler was looking for Maxwell out wide, sailed it past her. ACC Huddle road trip continues through August 24th. Catch exclusive interviews with players and coaches of your favorite ACC team. LSU women's soccer, not the only LSU team to open with an ACC opponent this year. LSU football welcoming Clemson, Death Valley, September 5th.
In the game for LSU, number 32, Linka Ono.
Linka Ono checks in for LSU.
Number
Junior from Tokyo, transferred from Arizona Western College. As for Wake Forest, Demon Deacons brings Sophia Ateortua back in. Morgan, we saw Ateortua provide quite the spark for the Demon Deacons off the bench in the first half. Interested to see what she can do here after halftime.
And she's the player that I actually think is the perfect substitute for Wake Forest at this time, because she was an energy injector in the first half. They need that right now, and she adds that bit of technical flair to switch things up for what LSU is seeing. And I think she can find some pockets and get the ball and create going forward.
Galligan, a long distance rip wide of the net. Ava Galligan, 11 goals a year ago, all SEC first team selection, all region team by the United Soccer Coaches. A real student of the game, says Sean Hudson. Oh no, fresh off the bench, no one home for the Tigers. Zadian. Maxwell near the midline. Sisters Maxwell, Kylie and Taylor. Twins reunited in Winston-Salem after Taylor's transfer in from Miami.
And that's great movement. Wake Forest hasn't gained a ton of ground, but they're able to ping some passes around and build that momentum. This is a ball that they're going to want back because that's where they can really start to build forward and then look if you can play Lola Wrestler in behind. But we haven't seen a ton of that in the second half. I don't think Wake Forest has really found their rhythm. And a lot of that is because of the press from LSU and just how they've been able to shrink the field. But Dempsey Brown will continue to be an outlet. She does a great job of looking left to right. That's a ball straight forward. Wrestler has to hold on to it in order to create something and keep that going forward.
Kelsey Major streaking forward. Underlapping run from Major, wide for Hansen. Top of the 18-yard box, Hansen. Headed out by Brown. How many times have we called Dempsey Brown's name tonight?
When you see her show up on both sides of the ball, but keep an eye, Kelsey Major's still in the attack. She's really picking and choosing when she can get forward.
Hansen serves it, Amaral there.
I want to see more of Major getting into the attack, and we know she's not going to fly forward every time. She has the ability, but she's playing really smart. She also has a big defensive role tonight against Maxwell. But in that, her first time getting forward, had a really aggressive first touch, penetrating towards the middle of the field. It's really well done from the veteran player.
Team captain Kelsey Major. Wake through the middle of the park. Scythe way up from her outside back spot. Flanagan. Sammy Weeman, 21 in white. Healthy for a second straight year after missing 2 years for the Demon Deacons. Long aerial switch. A lot of space unlocked on the flank. Maxwell and Major. Maxwell blocked. Free for the taking. Hansen there for LSU. Galligan. You can feel the intensity in this one tick up with every passing minute. Midway through the second half, still scoreless.
And you want that pass to be a higher percentage one that's completed from Galligan. But you can't take anything away from her hold-up play. The way that she holds the ball, then she creates some space, is able to face up. It's really well done. Just needs that final pass to connect.
Scythe. Locked out. Corner for Wake Forest. Scythe creates the corner off of Bruiser.
Entering the game for LSU, number 8, Ellie Kate Johnson. Number 23, Allie.
Wake Forest substitution. Chloe Burst returns, the Louisiana native, playing against the Tigers. LSU also making a sub with Fryer returning. So now Fryer and Galligan out there simultaneously. Ella Kate Johnston also in. Freshman from Baton Rouge. But here a Demon Deacon corner. Scythe to the far post. Still free. Brown strikes it. Dempsey Brown, have yourself a night. The smoke billowing on the hill behind the goal. Dempsey Brown, the senior captain, scores her first career goal in the opening game of her senior season in Winston-Salem.
Well, that could not be a more beautiful moment for Dempsey Brown. It's the work to keep this ball in, and it's not a bad idea on the clearance, but it falls right to the foot of Brown. She times this strike beautifully. See how she steps through it? She's on top of it, knows it's going in before it even hits the back of the net. What a moment for a player who means so much to this Wake Forest program. First career goal. Senior year, incredible. Well done, Dempsey Brown.
An ACC all-freshman team pick in 2023, integral player in 2024. Wake Forest was 90 minutes away from a national title. A leader on a young team that the head coach said perhaps overachieved a year ago. And Brown suffered a really difficult injury against Florida State in the regular season finale last year. Was able to make it back for the NCAA tournament. Now wearing the captain's armbands, involved both offensively and defensively for Wake Forest in that role, playing the 6. And a storybook moment for Brown to find the score sheet for the first time in her Wake career. Deacons feel like they're not done. Her fellow captain, Scythe. This will be another set piece for Wake Forest.
And that was the momentum builder that Wake Forest needed to really make their mark. But when you just look at that opportunity for Dempsey Brown, she's been the unlock when they can find her in the middle. She's the safe space for them in the middle of the field. She faces up, can go left or right, has made great decisions going forward. But in that moment, shooting that ball, she's not thinking about anything but stepping through it, and knows that she has the ability to finish. Incredible work from the veteran.
Do you ever have any of those moments, Morgan, where it's a set piece like that and it's like just strike the ball as hard as you can in that moment?
Time just stops in that moment. As an outside back, I didn't have many, okay, Matt?
Yeah.
I had one goal, but time did stop. It was a nice one from distance, but truly, you don't hear anything around you. You don't see much, but the ball going in the back of the net.
Flanagan, Skiving sees it bounce, but picks it up.
And it just means that much more for a player who hasn't really gotten the recognition in her career. She's been working on a ton of minutes for this team, holding it down in the middle, played outside back for a little bit early in her career, and has really just been someone they can rely on. But when it comes to the goal scoring, that hasn't been what's been expected of Dempsey Brown. So it's nice when those players get a moment to step up and really truly get the recognition for changing a game.
This game is far from over. LSU led the SEC in goals last year, shut out just 3 times. You know they're going to have a counterpunch. Can Wake Forest withstand it? Can the Deacons find a second?
And that's a good question, because honestly, the way that this energy feels, Wake Forest has come alive after that goal, but LSU has still been incredibly dangerous. They're almost pestering when they're on the defensive end, not giving Wake much space and forcing the Deacons to be special. And they can, but they have to be on and be specific and precise with where their passes are going to be able to beat this really tight press.
Too much pace in the pass. Scalligan couldn't get there. Number 7, Michigan State takes on number 8, North Carolina in an early season women's soccer showdown next Sunday, August 23rd, 1 Eastern on ACC Network. The Spartans and the Tar Heels, marquee non-league matchup, much like this one, early in the 2026 season. College Cup back in Cary, North Carolina this year. Just a couple of hours to the east from where we are in Winston-Salem. This is Arteatua. Maxwell, wide it goes. LSU was shut out just 3 times last year. Coincidentally enough, all by teams with old gold and black as their primary colors. Vanderbilt twice, Scoreless draw in the regular season, 1-0 in the NCAA round of 16. And then the 1-0 win for Wake Forest in this matchup a year ago. The most potent offense in the SEC. And Sean Hudson, especially with the addition of Allie Fryer in the transfer portal from BYU, and with the addition of some of these freshmen, she believes that her team is even more potent offensively this year. Do they have a moment of brilliance to equalize on the road?
We asked her what to expect of this attack, and she said goals galore. And I absolutely can see that for this LSU team. Even with some of the players that they graduated and having a lot of new faces, they have so much potential. And we said it earlier on, but some of the questions were more defensively. What do things look like, and how can that really be the foundation for how this team plays? Even if they're working on that foundation, I'm still really impressed with what we've seen, though, from LSU and the way that they want to play. They can press. They also don't have to if they don't want to. They do have the ability to play make with some of the players that they have in the middle of the park, but there's no doubt, no matter what, they have the ability to find their front runners, whether it's direct, to their feet, going 1v1, and they have the players that are really special that can put the ball away.
Question mark would be the play of the back line with 3 new starters. One of those starters, Alford, fouled from behind. John Hudson said, we need some experience back there. And we asked her, how do you microwave experience? And it's not easy to do.
If someone could figure that out, I think that's the unlock for any coach with a lot of new players.
Solve a lot of problems.
What's the cheat code?
Galligan, a threat in the air. Long distance shot, why not? But Amaral steady. How good is Valentina Amaral?
It was interesting hearing both coaches talk about her, because there was compliments. Obviously, Tony DeLuz loves Valentina Amaral, what she's been able to do for this Wake Forest program, and he has years of experience with her. But Sean Hudson was also raving, saying in her opinion, she's one of the best goalkeepers in the country. And to have an opposing coach say that speaks so highly, especially when a lot of what Amaral does, it's the big moments is when she's called on the most. And there's a lot of times she's quiet throughout the game because she doesn't have to do much.
Oh no, and Amaral tips it over the bar. Well, a quiet moment turns into a chance for LSU. Linka Ono nearly equalized. Amaral up for the test.
And that one came quick. It's a poor giveaway from the back. Linka Ono just completely picks the pocket. It's actually a Brown. She lets this one go without it even bouncing. It comes off the foot of the takeaway, and she lets it fly. But that's exactly what Amaral can do. We're just talking about she comes up with the big save when needed. She just let the ball come off of her foot. She's still making her way back and is able to parry it over the bar.
Merlin Knowles, one of 4 LSU subs. Soraya Bailey back in there as well. Tigers pulling out all the stops. Under 14 minutes to go, looking for this equalizer. His daughter back in there as well for LSU. Or is there a point for Wake Forest where the mission shifts from look for the insurance goal to see this one out and take your 1-0 victory?
You could say yes, but the way that Wake Forest plays, it doesn't matter what point it's at in the game. If they're winning or if they're building into the game, they want to possess because that's what they do best. So I see this team looking to possess, and yeah, they'll maintain their lead, but if they have a look, they're not going to shy away from playing the ball in behind or finding the feet of one of their forwards. So it plays into the way their style of play, the way they like to play. They're going to look to possess first, but they also want to possess with a purpose and build their way forward towards the goal. So I definitely don't think we will see them take their foot off the gas, but I think it'll naturally see them going forward, knowing how they like to play.
Tony DeLuse's team unbeaten in their last 16 games here at Spry Stadium. About 12.5 minutes away from making that 17. Another goal certainly would go a long way in that department. Come the Tigers, over the top for Galligan. Bounces past her, though.
And Matt, you have to credit the defensive play from LSU to put pressure on Allie Flanagan getting forward, causing the turnover, and then going forward quickly in transition. For Wake Forest, Allie Flanagan has definitely had a lot of chances. I'd love to see her take a look over her shoulder to feel that pressure coming, because if she has time and space, she can take it and get forward. But knowing there's a player on her back, she's got to move a bit quicker.
Flanagan. Into space it goes. Here comes Wake. Oh, there's a pull from behind. Clear as day. And a card comes out of the pocket of Adriana Contreras. Wake had numbers there, a 3-on-2. And Ava Amsden goes into the books.
And Riley Cross could feel that from far away. Amsden knew she was beat, doing whatever she could just to stop the buildup from Wake Forest to allow her team to get behind the ball. Riley Cross, I think we'd usually see her dribble with a bit more pace. It's late in the game. She's a bit tired. Amsden just doing what she can to slow it down and stop the play.
Sammy Central, close to the top.
Dempsey Brown, the goal scorer for Wake Forest in the 69th minute. First goal of the college career of the captain. Brown. Cross. Galligan touches it back. Bailey returns for Galligan. On one forward. Linsdottir streaking toward it. Defended well by the Demon Deacons. It will be an LSU corner. Much the dismay of the home fans here in Winston-Salem.
And the ball took a bit of a deflection. It's Talia Zadian who's doing the work defensively, closing the space. We know she's a shot blocker, but that one bounces off her at the end to give LSU a chance. LSU has had a lot of corners tonight, 8 chances, and Galligan's in the game now, so you have her height.
Knowles on the ground. Temporarily sends it out of trouble. 6 of the 8 corners for LSU have come in the second half. It's Wake Forest who scored off of their only corner in half number 2, though.
It's a great touch.
Wake Forest playing the first of 3 straight fellow Power Conference foes here at home to open up the 2026 season. South Carolina, who Wake knocked out of the NCAA tournament last year, comes in on Sunday. Iowa, who LSU knocked out of the tournament last year in the second round, comes in a week from tomorrow. Tony DeLuise said that he learned his lesson about strength of schedule in 2023 when Wake was left out of the NCAA tournament, had some ties against teams further down in the ACC standings that year. Strength of schedule kept Wake out. He is not going to make that mistake again, and he is scheduled tough this year. They've got a road trip to South Florida and Florida later on in the non-conference portion of the schedule as well.
And that sort of non-conference slate obviously supports them when you come to strength of schedule in the NCAA tournament. That is definitely something that Tony DeLuise said he actively makes decisions to support them in that sense. But it's also gearing them up for the ACC regular season. I mean, when we at halftime, Matt, went over, there's what, 5 teams in the top 10?
5,
Reminder,
correct.
only 6 make the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
So whoever number 6 is, I think it might have been 11, Virginia. They're somewhere right around there. That right now, if you're looking at the standings, obviously so early, could be your ACC tournament. So that's a place that these teams don't have the ability to pick up wins, where if you look at different conferences, it's set up a little bit differently. So strength of schedule becomes so important in the non-conference.
I remember 2 years ago, Stanford's first year in the league, they didn't make the ACC tournament, went to the College Cup anyway. Last year, Carolina didn't make the ACC tournament. Tar Heels were less than 10 seconds from qualifying for the NCAA quarterfinals before TCU equalized late, advanced on PKs. The depth in this ACC is unprecedented in women's soccer. And the addition of Stanford and California and SMU in recent years has only strengthened that. You look at Wake's ACC schedule. They don't have to play Duke. They don't have to play Notre Dame. They get Florida State and North Carolina at home. Tony DeLuise said he didn't really care about how that breaks down because the ACC is so tough top to bottom, but it certainly looks favorable for the Demon Deacons.
What's also so interesting is you can say it's favorable, but as the season shakes out, any of those teams could be in the mix for being the top team in the ACC or top couple teams. So on paper, we can always make that, but there's never actually a favorable schedule in the ACC.
Corner forthcoming for Wake Forest. One last reminder, ACC Huddle Road Trip continues through August 24th. Catch exclusive interviews with players and coaches of your favorite ACC team. Sierra Scythe to the corner flag. Second time this half that she's trotted over there. The first time, bouncing ball fell to the feet of Dempsey Brown and Wake Forest scored. Free for the taking. Off LSU and a Wake Forest throw. 7.5 to play.
Sammy, well done. On the ball,
Hey, big deep pass. Big deep pass.
Sammy, a little bit more
Sammy, Sammy, get back. Get back.
Wake content to take their time here. They can sense a season opening victory.
Kylie, read it.
Another Wake corner.
Corner kick, Wake Forest.
Hey, second ball, back in again. Go down. Go get it. Tighter, tighter.
Here it comes. Headed. Second ball. Back to Brown, who chips it in. Skiving handles that one with her right foot.
And Ava Galligan won 2 back-to-back corners sent in for LSU. She's so calm in the box, easily clearing it out. She's also really not contested, but if she was, just the way that she goes up, so dominant in the air.
LSU just needs one moment. And get this game level. Walk out of here with a result. Cross. Cross into the box herself. Bounces to Skiving.
Riley Cross is really fun to watch coming out of the midfield for Wake Forest number 10. It's the Penn State transfer, but you can just see how comfortable she is when she gets on the ball, the way that she turns and takes space. She quickly gets there a little bit. You can see dealing with a little bit of tired legs now, but so technical on the ball. She's clean with it. She creates a lot for Wake Forest, and I'm excited to see how she continues to elevate their attack as the season goes on.
Tony DeLuise said she could be an all-ACC player. They recruited her so hard in high school. Picked Penn State the first time. The second go-round in the portal, she picks Wake Forest. A Demon Deacons team that is up 1-0 thanks to this 69th minute goal from Dempsey Brown, the first of her college career.
And it started with Sierra Scythe playing the ball. It goes to the backside, falls right to the foot of Dempsey Brown, who just strikes through it. It's a screamer. She gets on top of it. So clinical. It's a beautiful goal for her first career goal for the senior.
5 minutes to play in Winston-Salem.
If you're
New to college soccer, jumping on the bandwagon after the World Cup this summer. Clock counts down, obviously. There is no stoppage time in the college game. So when you see 4:38 and ticking on the clock, that is what remains. Amaral. Brown, the goal scorer. Bailey. Bailey weaving. Bailey still in possession, takes the shot, sails it over the bar.
Soraya Bailey's just clean on the ball. And usually we see her taking players more with pace 1v1, but she's just so calm on the ball. It slows down, does a scissor, a hesitation, cuts inside, and that's a really nice strike. Clean the way she hits it, just gets under the ball. Amaral was there anyway, kind of towards the center of the frame, but you can just see the technical ability that Bailey has on the ball.
International experience with both the United States and Canada for Soraya Bailey. Just a sophomore. Fryer pressing. Nice turn.
Such a small note too. That ball from Amaral came from her left foot.
On the ground, a chance for another. Maxwell evades the keeper and doubles the lead. Welcome to your sophomore year, reigning ACC Freshman of the Year, Kylie Maxwell. And Morgan, this all starts at the other end of the pitch.
And she puts the ball on her left foot to chip it. And then the ball comes through. It's a nice turn. And then it's just played in behind. Once again, Riley Cross, a player that Tony DeLuz told us has the best final ball on the team. But it's actually Ressler who gets that touch. And Maxwell's just special. She holds it right in front of the keeper, skiving a slight touch around at the outside of the foot. Feels the defender's pressure coming, but has enough time to put it home. A really beautiful team goal for a team who likes to build, likes to possess, likes to combine, and it started with the goalkeeper.
And it makes me think of Tony DeLuz's checklist for Kylie Maxwell's improvements freshman year to sophomore year. Finishing, technique, composure, and awareness.
Check, 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 check.
Boom. There you go.
That'll be a nice one to watch on film, too. I hope she has it up for him and can just check mark as she goes.
2.5 minutes for Wake to see out a top 20 non-conference victory. 17th straight game unbeaten at home.
Matt, what you also saw is it's the composure and the confidence from Kylie Maxwell. And you expect a young player who has an outstanding freshman campaign to come back more confident, but she had some experience training with professional teams this summer, some international experience. And that's just a player coming back that she's in her element and the game can slow down for her and she's not afraid. The goalkeeper's right there. There's not any space. No worries. She'll find a way just to get around it. So really, really impressive work from Maxwell, especially like you said, when we're aware of the work that she's been in, she just showcased the final product right there.
Reunited with her twin Taylor this year. Taylor transferring in from Miami. Final minute here in Winston-Salem. LSU will drop the opener. They're home for their next three: Northwestern State, UCF, and Florida Gulf Coast. Trip to the desert looms to face Arizona State in Arizona, final weekend of August. They'll lift the lid on SEC play September 11th at home against Tennessee. Tonight won't be painted purple and gold, Morgan, but still some positives for LSU in this season opener.
Absolutely. I was curious what we would see, especially from this back line, but this whole defensive unit has worked really well together. It's been interesting to see with some of the substitutions and just the personnel that it seems Sean Hudson's a little bit more comfortable with right now, but I think LSU did a great job pressing. They worked as a unit, a really good start for them as they continue to flesh out.
But tonight belongs to the old gold and black. Wake Forest, unbeaten for a 17th straight game at home. Tony DeLuz's team opens 2026 with a top 20 home win. A pair of second half goals accomplishes the task tonight against LSU.